Hello, this is Shindo.
And this is Lucifera.
Today we're going to be talking about how the Bible is used and abused by many Christians, especially those who are what you would call the Christian right, as a weapon, as a club that they love to use to beat their enemies with. But we're going to show today that many of these people are actually abusing the meaning behind these words that they use. The Bible is a tool. It can be used as such, and it can be a tool to do good with, and it is a tool that many out there are using today to do great evil with. To start with, I want to look at the book of Revelation. This is a very obscure and cryptic book. When I read it and when Lucy and I use it, we are, of course, using our own interpretation of it. We have spoken from this book more than any other book in our many videos here, simply because if you're able to unmask the meaning behind these things, you can truly understand the psychological warfare that is going on in this day and time.
Revelation chapter 10, verse 7. But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God should be finished, as he hath declared to his servants the prophets.
We've already discussed this. Of course, the mystery of God in this passage is that we all have that spark of the divine, that God nature within us. There's a lot of wisdom that can be gleaned through reading the Bible. You just have to know how to incorporate a more Gnostic viewpoint of it and push aside the indoctrination that the Christian church has used with regards to this book, in particular the book of Revelation, which they are completely clueless about.
Continuing, verses 8 through 10. And the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me again, and said, Go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth. And I went unto the angel, and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it, and eat up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand, and ate it up, and it was in the mouth sweet as honey, and as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter.
Now, my interpretation of this passage is that this book represents the book that Christians continue to not understand but beat into people's heads, and that is the Bible. Takes the book, he eats it, it's sweet as honey in his mouth and bitter in his stomach. The bitterness, the anger, the contempt that Christians have, they use this Bible as a bullet. Somehow, in their twisted minds, those who do this, those Christians that do it, are somehow doing this out of love. Their scorn, their bigotry, their anger, their resentment at the world comes out and spews forth out of their mouth, and somehow, because they can cite a couple of verses out of the Bible to justify it, it somehow suddenly becomes love. It is not your business, Christians who do this, I'm referring to you who do this. It is not your business to get engaged in anything that's going going on in Hollywood. It does not matter whether the Illuminati or devil worshippers control Hollywood, because you should have nothing to do with it. Quite simple, direct, according to the Bible, out of the mouth of Christ himself. They are not of this world, even as I am not of this world. It is not any of your business to get engaged in these kinds of conflicts. Here in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verses 3 and 4, Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. What is politics if not the affairs of this life? And again, 1 Corinthians 5:12, What business is it of mine to judge those outside the church? Are you not to judge those inside? You have this completely reversed. Many of you Christians, you have it completely reversed. You are out there judging people outside of your church. What business is it of yours if gay men or lesbian women get married? It isn't any of your business unless they are inside your church. Then perhaps it becomes your business for you to spew out your hatred and anger and resentment, vile, spewing forth of the vitriol that comes out of your mouth and off of your keyboard.
Here's something very important. Colossians 3:8. But now ye also put off all these anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth.
We are seeing today in the news of the day a dramatic shift in how Christians are being perceived. I would not have believed that Christians who come at Lucy and I, and in general, that I see Christians, they're not even coming at me half the time, but I see them cursing, engaging in incredible amounts of what this verse says: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy. This is that bitterness that's coming out because they taste the sweetness that can be found in the Bible, the sweet, the love, the grace, the things that's supposed to bring comfort, and it's bitterness in their stomach, and then they just spew it back out.
Exactly right. It's unbelievable the way a lot of these Christians act today. They just come at you with all this hatred and blasphemy. It's mind-boggling. I can't believe how much anger and hate I get every single day from people. You're going to hell. You're the devil. You're this. You're that. It's quite tiring, actually. I mean, I can't believe these people will come and just say things to complete strangers.
I want to say that every now and then we meet certain Christians that are not like this. But in our experiences, you are a diamond in the rough. And the people that I generally meet face to face don't behave the way they do when they're sitting in the comfort of their homes behind their keyboards.
You really think that Christ would be proud of you for all this stuff you do? No way. No way.
Unfortunately for you, for those of you Christians who are trying to do the right thing and those of you who are not, unfortunately for you, this is reflecting more and more. It seems to be the majority. I, of course, want to come to this particular story, the woman Kim Davis in Kentucky. Now, I watched this on the news yesterday. I don't normally watch the news, but I was in a position where it was on. It was a somewhat captive audience. I want to play a clip from what Mr. Mike Huckabee, a man who I used to like years ago, back when he used to come on the Daily Show from time to time. I want to play a clip from what he said, this fear-mongering nonsense that he speaks about, trying to jumpstart his campaign again. This is how Christians are being portrayed in the media. This is not our fault. This is a spokesman for you. So let's play a little clip here.
But all of us need to ask, who's next? Your pastor? The head of a school? Who's next? My question as we leave here today, will you be ready to take the stand, even at expense to yourself, to stand firm for your convictions, for the Constitution, and for your faith, and will not waver nor fall?
What Mr. Huckabee is using here is called the slippery slope fallacy logic. If A happens, then eventually B, C, D is going to happen. Now, this man is not an unintelligent man, so he's not just, speaking out of his where. He knows exactly what he's saying. Marriage licenses are not given by clergymen. Marriage licenses are not given by those in the education realm. They are playing on the ignorance of the Christians who are listening to them by getting them afraid that somehow a homosexual couple, a gay couple, is going to go to a minister and demand that they marry them. No, that's absolutely not going to happen. If it does happen, I would even support people like Mike Huckabee, who is saying that their religious rights are being trampled upon. Issuing a license by the state is not condoning a marriage. Mike Huckabee knows this. And this what's so wrong with the Christian right today. They prey on your ignorance and lack of understanding. They want you to believe that because someone has to issue a marriage license the same way you might a hunting license or a driver's license has something to do with their personal religious beliefs. It's nonsense. And this ignorant woman is just a pawn being used by these people. I don't feel sorry for her. I don't feel sorry for her in her bigotry, in her anger and condemnation of people she doesn't even know. Even those who are not religious on the right have come out and started seeing exactly what's going on. Now you see why it is that Lucy and I have been speaking against Christendom for so long now. They want a theocracy. They are not in the least bit interested in your liberties, only in their own. And they will condemn you at the drop of a hat. These things are not your business. Hear the verse again. What business is it of mine to judge those outside the church? Are you not to judge those inside? You've got it in reverse.
Marriage has become a secular thing, not a spiritual one. Marriage today involves how hot a person is today, and it's about sex and all this secular crap. True marriage is supposed to be spiritual, a union between two people that love each other, that share things in common, that are spiritual helpmates.
In this, you'd be surprised that Lucy and I might agree with many of you Christians out there in regards to how marriage is supposed to be something that is a committed relationship. Unfortunately, because it's no longer one and it has gone into the secular realm, the state has to, that is the government, has to get itself involved in it. But with all the divorces and such. It wasn't until like the 1980s that the Christians really got involved in politics. It's a place they shouldn't be involved in. Look to your own Christians, look into your own community, those within your church, those you are supposed to judge.
Judge not, lest ye be judged.
On that note, this is Shindo.
And this is Lucifera.
See you again soon. Bye.